Hello everyone, welcome to our channel TJ Comments and Answers. I hope all of you are doing well. In this new video, we are going to get ready for the Let's Become Better Teachers section for the week of July 11th to 17th. I hope this will be very helpful for many of you. Let's begin. Alright, let's start with Start conversations. From house to house. Use a track to start a conversation. Good morning. I'm sharing a track that talks about a subject many people consider important. Why does God allow suffering? Shows the tract. Yes, that's a question I often ask myself. I understand. What does that question make you think about? I think that if God exists, He shouldn't allow so much pain. Thank you for saying that. Many people feel the same way. Do you think He might have some reason that we don't fully understand yet? Maybe, but it's hard to understand. Yes, and the Bible acknowledges that it's a difficult topic. In fact, at 2 Corinthians 1:3, for it says that God comforts us in all our trials. What does that suggest to you about God wanting to comfort us? Well, that He does care about what happens to us. Exactly. He's not indifferent. This tract explains why He allows suffering for a time and what He promises to do to end it. Opens the tract to the page that explains God's promise. For example, how would you feel living in a world with no pain or sadness, as Revelation 21:4 describes? That would be amazing. Something everyone would want. I'm glad you think so. How about next time we look together at how the Bible explains that this is not just a dream, but a promise from God? Householder, yes, I'd like that. Perfect. Here's the tract so you can read it at your own pace, and next time you can tell me what you think. Thank you for your time. Now let's move on to Make return visits. From house to house. On a previous visit, the person accepted a tract. Continue the conversation. Hello, good morning. I'm the one who left you this tract a few days ago about why God allows suffering. Did you get a chance to read it? Yes, I've been reading it. That's great. Was there something in particular that caught your attention? Yes, I liked the part that says God promises to end suffering. Yes, that's one of the most beautiful promises in the Bible. In fact, it's found at Revelation 21:4, where it says that God will wipe out every tear, and that death will be no more, neither will mourning, nor outcry, nor pain be any more. How would you feel living in a world like that? It would be wonderful, honestly. Absolutely. The good thing is that, according to the Bible, this is not just a human wish, but God's purpose. And in Isaiah 55:11 He says that everything He promises will be fulfilled without fail. Does it encourage you to know these are not empty words? Yes, it gives me hope. I'm glad to hear that. The Bible also explains how and when God will fulfill that promise. The tract mentions something, but there's a passage that explains it even more clearly. Opens the Bible or shows a related scripture in an app, for example Matthew 6:10. Here, in the model prayer, Jesus said we should ask for God's kingdom to come. Do you think that kingdom has something to do with ending suffering? Householder, yes, it seems so. Exactly. Next time, if you'd like, we can analyze what that kingdom is and how it will change the earth's conditions. Takes out an agenda or phone. When would be a good time for me to come back? I'm available Tuesday afternoon or Thursday morning. Thursday morning would be good. Perfect, Thursday morning. I'll write it down so I won't forget. Thank you very much for your time and for this good conversation. See you Thursday. All right, until then. Now let's move on to make disciples. Help your student prepare to preach to a family member. Last time we saw that God will put an end to suffering. Today I want to help you explain that to your sister. Imagine she's in front of you. What would be the first thing you'd say? I'd tell her that God promises a future without suffering. Very good. And why do you think she'd be interested in knowing that? Because she's been having problems lately, and I think she needs some hope. Exactly. People need hope. Now, to help her understand better, we need a simple example. Think, how can we show her that God has the power to fulfill His promise? Maybe that He created everything. Very good. Why do you think that's a good example? Because it's easy to understand, and anyone is impressed by nature. Exactly. Look at this verse, Isaiah 40:26. It says God made all the stars and calls each one by name. What does that make you think? That He is very powerful, more than any person. And if He has that power, what would you tell your sister? That if God can make so many stars, He can also end suffering. Very good. That's the first point. Now for the second, how would you explain why God allows suffering? I'm not really sure how to say it. You could use a simple example. Imagine a teacher allows his students to do things their own way, even though he knows they'll make mistakes. He watches them but doesn't let them seriously hurt themselves. What does this example teach? That the teacher wants them to learn for themselves. Exactly. God has done something similar with humanity. How could you say that to your sister in your own words? That God has let us live how we want so we can see that we can't govern ourselves well, but that He won't allow it forever. Very good. And to conclude the idea, you could read Revelation 21:4, where God promises to remove pain, tears, and death. What do you think your sister would feel if she heard that verse? I think it would give her hope, and maybe she'd want to know more. Exactly. Now let's practice. I'll play your sister, and you explain it to me step by step. The student explains using Isaiah 40:26, the teacher example, and Revelation 21:4, pausing for the sister to respond. Very good, you spoke clearly and used simple examples. How did you feel explaining it? Nervous at first, but then I felt more confident. Perfect. This practice will help you remember the main idea: God has the power and the intention to end suffering. Yes, and I think my sister will understand it. Then, this week, before you talk to her, practice 2 or 3 times. You could even do it with a friend to build confidence. Well, those were the sample presentations for this week's Let's Become Better Teachers section. I hope they will be of great help to you, my dear brothers and sisters. I'm sending you a big hug, and may Jehovah bless and protect you always.